Hey friends, this is Chris.
And Yuji.
Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Busan. Yay! The Trump and the Musk clown show continues, and let's get right in. So this is the comments on the last video, the top comments. This first one says from YouTube Keeper. They say, boycott Tesla, boycott Starlink and SpaceX, boycott X/Twitter, boycott Trump, and Musk anything. So is that going to work?
Yeah, I think it's very easy. You're not eating, you're not sleeping with Twitter, Tesla. So you just you don't drive Tesla. You just delete the Twitter. I think it's an easy one.
Please don't sleep with Tesla, right? That's the best advice. Don't sleep with Twitter, right? Don't sleep with Starlink or SpaceX.
You don't eat those two.
And don't eat your Tesla. Actually, it's kind of funny. One of the Tesla stock promoters recently, we say totaled. Do you know what that means?
On it?
Like it means like you crash your car and it's like you can't fix it. So it's like total means like total destruction. I guess the guy was like driving out to go see the rocket blow up. And then he hit a rock on the way, which is very funny because he said all his friends were warning him that the road to SpaceX or whatever is like really crappy, but he didn't know it was like that crappy. They're like, well, I didn't know it was that crappy, so he hit a rock and ruined his Tesla. But evidently, he's gonna buy another one. Yeah.
They got the money, so they can do whatever they want.
Maybe Elon's giving it a free one. I don't know. So don't be like that. Once you lose your Tesla, don't get back in. There's been a thing too, which I showed you the pictures. If you guys haven't seen it, people are trying to pretend their Tesla's not a Tesla.
Oh yeah, they take out the emblem.
Yeah. So like an Audi or a Toyota or a Honda. So you may spot one in your neck of the woods. It's kind of funny. It's actually fairly clever. Some of those fooled me even. I wouldn't have guessed it, because you take off the emblem and all cars look alike, I guess. Here's another comment. This is from Martin. Martin says, these people would vote for Trump again, so don't feel bad for them. What are we talking about?
So don't feel bad means who got fired, I think? Yeah,
so some people now are kind of mad at Trump and Musk because they lost their job, but we shouldn't feel bad for them. Why shouldn't we feel bad for these people?
Vote for them. Probably they were happy that, they say, oh, we gotta, cut all the government employee. They tend to, oh yeah, I'm happy for them, I'm cheering for you, but that's if that is you, you're not happy.
So it's kind of an awkward thing. Many people wrote in comments also that these kind of MAGA or Republican type people are just frankly really selfish. They kind of cheer and are happy when other people lose their jobs, right?
Yeah, happy for other people's tragedy.
Right.
But it happens to you. Of course you're sad.
Yeah, so that's why, like, guys, when we talk about this stuff, it's better to have a system that's fair. It's better also to care about your neighbors. So, for example, from the Trump and Musk point of view, the idea of, I'll give you a simple example. They want to completely get rid of the Department of Education. Okay?
That's crazy.
Because who needs education, right?
I told you, even if, like, when Korea's colony era of Japan.
Right.
So the first thing, not the first thing, but important thing they did is, don't speak Korean. They just teach, the Japanese education.
Right.
So if you lose your education, you lose your country.
Well, from the Musk and the Trump point of view, what they want to do, and this is just be perfectly frank, they want to make it so that if you're wealthy, you're going to get tax benefits to go to your private schools and your private education.
I think that's kind of third people.
I mean,
like third world mind. Because I told you even Uganda example. The rich people, they don't want poor people get education. They just stay poor.
Yeah.
And rich people, even if they studied, they cannot make the good money in their country. They have to go outside of country. So only certain people hold the money and power in their country. So
what we're referring to is in some of these types of countries. Sometimes we refer to Banana Republic, right? These kind of places is the government is often controlled by a family. So like this is real. Trump literally picks his kids to like take positions in government. He did that the first time around, or he just picks his friends or your aunts and uncles or whatever. But when you do this and you're not picking people on qualifications, you're just picking people based on
quality of people. They're just kids right now.
Well, right. If you
now.
yeah, because the second time around Trump's doing this. But yeah, I mean, if you have any skills or you can see how these Trump people are, you don't want any association because you're doing things that are legal that really will damage your career, and it's not just yourself, will hurt the country for decades. And you don't want that. You don't want to be associated with Trump. Seriously, that's why they don't get the good people. Trump always says the same stupid stuff. I get the best people in the whole world, in the whole history, right? He always says that, but it's just not true. By any metric, you can see these people aren't qualified. So regarding the education thing, yeah, they want to sort of basically create the system of winners and losers, which is a big part of democracy, or a big part of capitalism. Is it's just real. Some companies win, some companies lose. Some people win,
Some people lose.
Yeah, and part of making a fair system is at least give people a chance.
Fair chance.
Yeah. Because I understand the concept of it. It's just real. Like some people are going to get paid more than others. I get that. I'm not necessarily advocating that we all get paid the same. I never say that. But I don't think necessarily it's fair that if you're born in USA and you can't afford to go to private school and there's no money or public funding for your public school, that's not fair at all, and I don't think that's a good way. And so when Yeji's referring to Uganda, we're talking about in certain places, if let's say you're born to a poor family and you're really, really smart, you're just better off going to a different country because you're never going to, even though that's your home country, you're never going to write.
Yeah, you're gonna, maybe you can't go to make it to the university, but even if the doctor job, lawyer job it's not gonna pay you well.
Right.
So you can really just level up your society level. So you better move to other country.
And that's sort of the core essence of the negative of the Trump Musk corruption culture. Is that we're not allowing for the best people to.
Yeah, you gotta keep the best people.
Yeah.
That makes your country stronger.
Yeah, and you want to also attract good people, right?
Yes. So, he wants to make America great again. But think about World War II.
Right.
They were bringing the best scientists, from the Europe.
Yeah.
Like Einstein.
Yeah, sure. Actually, we I used to, when I was in college, when we studied this period, we'd always make the joke of like, winning World War II is who could get the best German scientists, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, really,
who
had better German scientists, right?
Who has the better HR?
Right. I think it was, if I remember correctly, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was called Operation Paperclip, I believe. I could be wrong, but it was basically, it was a government way to like, hey, how can we get better scientists, essentially, to build rockets and, ultimately develop. If you guys saw the Oppenheimer movie, and actually this is a true story. When we watched the movie, do you remember the part I cried? You remember?
Which movie?
Oppenheimer. You remember? Yeah.
I don't know. You cried a lot.
I cried a lot in the movie. It's a very good movie, but there was one part that really got to me. It was, and it's a complicated movie because we're talking about building a bomb, right? I want to make that clear, So, but there was a scene where basically. It was just, I think they're at Princeton at the time or whatever university, or they're at the think tank, which is for the government. And like all these people talking about physics and math and these kind of stuff. And some of these people were American. And like, I say that because if you go to any top university these days, you can't get Americans to do these things. A lot of Americans these days, they don't want to get educated, or to be fair,
your government trying to stop the education.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, we're not, encouraging it.
Yeah.
Even Bill Nye, the science guy, who I got started with, I've showed you him before. He was actually speaking against Trump and Musk. One of the things was, it was recently where Elon wants to take control of our weather satellites, basically, and privatize all our weather satellites.
Yeah. He wants to control everything, not just that, right?
There's a lot of problems. Let's go some more. So this is 60 Seconds Writes comment. I can't understand why people haven't been on to him for the last at least 10 years. This is referring to either Trump or Musk, could be either of them. He is transparently a liar and con man. He proves it over and over again, and yet people are blind to it. So let's use the example of Musk, because in the last video, I didn't tell you about this one. What's that?
People only sees their money and power.
Yeah.
They're just yes men, yes women, I guess.
Actually, someone had a really interesting comment with the whole Trump Musk culture, that it really brings out the biggest negatives of U.S. culture. Meaning that, like, for example, if they only see money, then we're like promoting greed, like to be greedy people, right? Like that's one of the really negative aspects of US culture, and so that they kind of like sort of embody greed. And there's a famous movie called Wall Street. Did you ever see that old movie? It's with Michael Douglas, Charlie Sheen. It's called Wall Street. It's just literally called Wall Street.
No.
I think it came out 1987. I saw it when I was a kid. I'm old. It's a fantastic movie, but there's a famous speech in it. It's called the Greed Speech. It's by Gecko is the name. For those of you old enough to see this movie, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of the more famous speeches in Hollywood, and basically he just says greed is good.
I see.
Like without greed, America wouldn't be the country that it is, today, because greed, people's lust for money and lust for power created the,
Yeah, but maybe the time was greed with, you don't care other people.
Right.
Like these days, like pollution.
Yep, good example. And in that movie, that character who says that goes to prison. So, so there's that. Like,
I hope the ending is sane.
Well, so that's the thing is culturally back then, this was in the 80s, turning the Reagan era, where the divide between rich and poor was expanding, and you had a lot of those kind of movies. And what I mean by those is, you look at any of the popular movies. So Aliens was a really popular movie. Blade Runner, RoboCop. These are science fiction movies about when the company takes over, and all the other regular people are poor, right?
Yeah, and they're like we say small parts of they just do whatever they say. They don't have any choice.
Right. This actually brings up another topic which is interesting that I mentioned the Reagan era, where you could argue the Trump era and the Musk era is kind of going in that direction, and people are cheering it on for some reason. But our economy has changed. So let me explain the numbers, and it's a little bit complicated, but I just want to make sure it makes sense. So today, if you look at the bottom, 90% of people, they spend roughly like, I think it's like,
50%?
like 50% of U.S. spending, okay? Now, USA is a consumer economy, so it's really important. About 30 years ago, the bottom 90%, do you remember what it was?
Like 64%.
Yeah, so it was a lot more. So basically what we're saying, or what are we saying, basically?
They, this, so you can say now that, like company perspective, they care about more rich people.
Right.
Because poor people, they're not gonna spend money, and income's going down. I think percentage is gonna be lower.
Oh, right. Because with inflation and also the increase of assets of the wealthy, just the divide is getting bigger and bigger, and then companies start tailoring
only for the rich people.
Yeah, because if the economy, just for example, if the economy is built on, say, wealthy people make up over half at some point of the consumer economy, right? They'll tailor to that.
Example, now there is a $10 eggs, but they only make like organic $50 egg. There's no more food for poor people. They only can they can only eat the what is it? Corn flake.
Oh yeah, cornflakes cereal. Okay, so we actually do live in that world now, and what it is fast food. So basically, if you go to USA, the phrase that we use for our neighborhoods is food desert. So the idea, like in a desert, there's no water, like that. So in a food desert, you don't actually have access to good food. There's no access there.
Even if you want organic food, there's any.
Yeah, so like.
Even if you want good meat, there's.
Yeah, there's any. Yeah. So in the poor neighborhoods, you'll find more liquor store, like alcohol store. You'll find more. We call it cash checking places. It's basically scam loans kind of way. So basically, you'll see these signs, and it'll say like, get 2 weeks early, 2 weeks advance on your pay, right? So they say if you work at McDonald's or something like that, you can say I want a loan on my 2 weeks, 2 weeks ahead of time, because I have to pay my rent.
So they get the interest high.
Really high. Really high. In my opinion, like a lot of the stuff that we do to basically abuse poor people in USA, in my opinion, should be illegal. In my opinion, right? I think there should be limits on how much interest rates should be. Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that like Trump's and Musk, they want to just not have any laws regarding finance stuff, right? All those crypto bros and all these kind of people, they're all kind of in the same kind of group of people that want to basically profit off of poor people. Remember, simple example, guys. Trump was a casino owner. There's not much more you need to know. He was a casino owner. that's basically meaning I profit off of people drinking, I profit people off of gambling, losing money, etc. And for some reason, I don't know, people act like that's like a good thing to be a, CEO of a casino and then suddenly become president. The whole thing is weird to me.
Yeah.
Here's another topic, or another comment I should say. This is from Aqua. Aqua says, I thought he would hurt them, not me. Signed, MAGA. Right?
What is that?
So basically, when people who voted for Trump and Musk and that stuff,
yeah,
they're like, oh, well, as long as you hurt the dark people, as long as you hurt the trans people, as long as you hurt other people, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump because I like hurting other people. Oh, no, Trump hurt me. Oh, now I feel sorry for me. Yeah, so...
those kind of people, they're going to vote for them again.
I don't know, because if you guys watched my last video, some people say now they regret voting for Trump now that they've lost their job. But again, in our community, a lot of people don't feel sorry for these kind of people.
Not really.
There's many phrases for this. And I'd be curious if you guys have Korean, I'll give you examples. I don't know if they have Korean ideas for this. So we'll say stuff like, what goes around comes around. So like if you do things will come back to you. Okay, karma would be one. Do you have any? What is buninderu?
Yeah, you spread the seed and you get the.
Oh yeah. English would be you reap what you sow, but basically whatever seeds you plant will come back. Another way you can think about it as well. Someone wrote a comment of like, if you dig a ditch, I mean a hole, you should dig two. Like if you're that kind of person, that means like basically if you're putting out and hurting other people. You're hurting yourself too, right? So you might as well dig two holes if you're going to behave like that. I thought that was, that's, here's another one. This person says, I have absolutely no sympathy for this woman, and that's the one in the last video who lost their job. And if you haven't seen the last video, please watch it. What she is saying is Trump and Musk can be as cruel as they like to other people, so long as they're not cruel to me, right? So that, just think about it. Just let that sink in that like, hey, I want to vote for someone who's cruel, who's mean, just don't be mean to me, right? Typical Trump voter. People voted for Trump based on his cruelty. Cruel people voted for his cruel policy. Cruel means mean. Yeah. We reap what we sow in this life, right? So
maybe they thought they're just cruel to the Mexicans.
Yeah, that's.
But yeah, they didn't know it's happened to them.
And that's the thing. I've been warning people for a long time that Musk and Trump are anti-worker. They have a long history of basically not paying people, firing people, etc.
The Trump keeps saying that, there's taxi, the robot taxi, you're gonna have...
Oh, that's Musk, yeah.
Yeah, more human than robot in the future. They literally say that over and over.
Yeah,
But people think, oh, so the time you're not gonna work, just you stay home, it's almost making money.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. A lot of people right now, the big conversation is the era right now. Is this a repeat of the .com bubble? Right? Is this a repeat? So back then, the .com bubble, what was the hope for the .com?
Anything with .com, like online company, they make money.
Yeah. And not everyone succeeded, right? So like talk about search engines. Do you remember?
In Korea, we have like Lycos, Yahoo fail, like Mate is fail.
Yeah.
Even like Cyworld is fail.
Yeah.
Cyworld is like Korea Instagram kind of.
Yeah, like Instagram, Facebook. Yeah. But there was a lot of websites that didn't survive, right? And then the ones that did succeed ended up changing the economy forever. So like we were talking, for example, this is just a reality. We had a bunch of department stores back when I was a kid that don't exist anymore. For those of you who remember, you may not know these, but there's one called JCPenney. And for old people, they're like, yeah, I knew JCPenney. Another one was called Mervyn's was the name. There may have been, was it Woolworths? Was that a department store? I can't remember. There was a Kmart, which was like kind of like a cheaper, I don't know how to explain it. It's not a grocery store. It's not a department store, or maybe you could call it a cheap department store, I guess, but it was like a low cost one. Regardless though, there was a lot of stores that used to exist that just don't exist anymore. You could talk about another big one. A famous example was we had a store called Blockbuster Video. Did you ever see one of these things? They were blue and yellow. They were all over the place.
I don't know.
You used to rent VHS. You remember
those? We do have our neighborhood like.
You rent movies like VHS. Yeah.
We usually rent a comic book with it together.
Oh, you rent comic book and VHS at the same time. Oh, interesting. I don't think we ever had comic book rental in USA. I don't think we ever did that. But yeah, the blockbusters used to be everywhere, and then Netflix came along, internet, YouTube, etc., and then those don't exist. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is that the real question today is something like AI. Let's say it's 100% a scam, okay? So in that scenario, who loses their job? Let's say AI doesn't work. Who loses their job?
AI, if AI doesn't work?
Yeah, for example, AI, we're investing all this money in AI. AI doesn't work. Who loses their job?
I don't know, like programmers?
Yeah, all the people who work in AI. Right, the programmers, engineers. Right? The point is, like, we're investing all this money, the stock market is going up. AI doesn't work. They all lose their job in that industry.
Working right now.
Okay, let's say it does work, right? And then you have people who lose their jobs, be it
like CS, like call center people.
Yeah, customer service kind of people,
service.
Right?
And what else? If the factory, like simple job worker who does the same thing over and over.
Theoretically, logistics, maybe that kind of stuff, moving stuff. So, I actually think tax is a big one. I think a lot of accountants may lose their job.
Even
I think
the
so.
lawyer.
Theoretically, yeah, theoretically, certainly possible.
I know someone in Korea. He's the lawyer, but he was he wants to open the AI lawyer website. Lawyer Society sue him.
You know the guy who came on my channel, the lawyer that came on my channel? He has an AI website, which is kind of interesting. I don't know exactly how it works, but he just when you have a question about the law, you could probably easily look up something and it'll give you a general idea about it. The point being is, so AI could certainly work. So if it doesn't work, people lose their jobs because their companies go out of business. If it does work, people lose their jobs because people are going to be replaced. And the big thing with the Trump and Musk and like this whole "Make America Great" thing, which is frankly a big lie, is the idea that you could roll back time and go back to an era where you're shopping at Mervyn's, right? The department store, shopping at JCPenney, shopping at Sears. That was another one. Wow. Shopping at Kmart, going to Blockbuster Video. Guys, those days aren't coming back. And another example would be, say, the call center situation. Some of those jobs did go to India, right? For example, or Philippines, yeah. Some of those jobs are replaced by AI now, and they're maybe not going to come back. Now, the problem is, though, is that I think for many really important stuff, I probably don't. No, I'll say probably. I definitely don't. I definitely don't want all my decisions for Social Security.
Yeah.
All my healthcare stuff decisions all done by robots and numbers. Like that's the most irritating thing because sometimes you want to talk to a person, right? And you also want people to make human decisions. If we only just go with robots and you all just become a number, I'm pretty sure they'll find ways to cut everything. I had to bring that stuff up because the Trump people aren't honest to you. They basically just lie to you and promise you're all going to be rich, etc. So, my opinion, I think you do more people like better service if you tell people the truth, even if it's not like happy news, but tell people the truth. The truth is a lot of people need to get retrained if you want to compete in today's economy, or you need to move to a new city where there are jobs. What's that?
Yeah, but smart people, that's what smart people moves.
You have to.
Yeah, but poor people, they don't listen.
Well, so I come from a different era, or different era than there are today. I'll just give you an example. Is the generation above me, well, actually 2 generations above me, was the greatest generation. So
my baby boomer, right?
No, their parents, the baby boomers' parents. Yeah, the reason why I'm giving this example is that they went through the Great Depression. So that was in the 30s. So we had a big crash in the market, and it was like 29, and then the Great Depression, and then a lot of people moved west out to Oregon and Washington to build the ships for World War II because that's where the jobs were. Now, some people, for example, don't want to leave their town even if there's no job. But that's just not a recipe for success. Don't expect, and it's just, I know it sounds mean, but it's just the truth. If there's no jobs in your city, you got to go to a different city, right? If you don't have the skills for a job, you got to get the skills for a job. If I'm saying anything any mean, please let me know. But it's better to be honest with people. Of like,
that's how you improve your life.
Yeah, and we're in a situation where people believe in Trump's promises that he's going to bring back jobs that aren't coming back, and it sounds mean, and we get a
job,
They want
construction.
They want a lot of factory jobs, yeah.
Or even a factory job, I don't know. because they want like Hyundai build, like Samsung build the factory there, but
well, here's the thing: like a lot of those jobs are automated now,
yeah,
right? Like we don't build things by hand. We have machines. Like just for example, like say in the past you used to fix a car. Just for example, today if you wanted to fix things, you should probably learn how to fix a drone. Just for example, because that's a real job, right? Fix a drone, repair like a robot, that kind of stuff. Or maybe in the past, you're digging coal. Today, maybe you need to like fix wind turbine, like the wind thing. No, seriously, that's a real job. Yeah,
even the AC.
Yeah, well, fix air conditioning. That's so some jobs are actually never going to go away. Fix AC, fix pipes. There's probably like skilled trade, these kind of things.
Cleaning ACs.
Yeah. So no, it's real. It's real. Yeah, those kind of jobs are actually really important. So not all jobs are going away, but you have to have jobs that
you gotta transfer
yeah
your job.
And there are actually the jobs that we have like a huge shortage in are actually nurses. I don't know why Americans don't want to do it. And actually some of these nursing jobs pay pretty good salaries. It's like over 100,000. It's actually not bad at all. And so we end up getting a lot of people from Philippines, our nurses in various countries. In LA, it was a lot of Filipinos. Anyway, so this is a long discussion, obviously, with this stuff, but just want to have a chat with you guys about it and share your reactions and comments, and also chat with the AD. So we appreciate your time, and we'll catch you all in the next video. So bye.